For this activity, we're going to try to put all the elements of art that we've studied throughout the year into one drawing. We're going to do it as a landscape drawing. We're also going to review some of those techniques we've studied through the year, not all of them, but a lot of them, and try to put them all in one landscape drawing. So grab a pencil, grab a pen, colored pencils, crayons, whatever you want to use, and a piece of paper, and let's get started, all right? All right, so today's drawing, we're going to try to create a landscape using all of the elements of art that we've practiced so far and some of the techniques that we've practiced. And you can do it with a pencil. I'm going to use a Sharpie pen and maybe a bigger Sharpie marker. And later, probably add some color marker or colored pencils or something. I want you to use whatever you've got. You can make it work with whatever. I just am going to use a pen, Sharpie pen. And we're going to make a landscape, like I said. We're going to include as many elements of art as we can and some of the other techniques that we've practiced. I think it's best for this project to put your paper sideways. So landscape or horizontal view, whatever you want to call it. And let's go ahead and start out by go over here to the left side of your paper, go up just a little bit, and we're going to draw a line that kind of slopes down, not all the way to the bottom, but just slightly. And then we'll do kind of the opposite over here. We're going to go over to this side, go up, and then make our way down. Get real close to that other line, but don't quite touch it. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. This one's going to just bump into that line. And we'll do one more like horizon line. So one that goes all the way across. It's not perfectly straight. So now we got to figure out something that we're going to put on the foreground, something that's really close to us. And remember, things that are closer are bigger. And I'm actually going to make a flower. And just like those rose windows we made the other week, we're going to use radial symmetry. So I just made you can make a circle or an oval, and you can draw whatever kind of flower you want. I'm going to make it using radial symmetry. So that means going out from the middle, it's the same. And I can tell you right now, mine's not going to be perfect, but I think it'll be okay. I do think it's easier when you're doing something that has radial symmetry to not just start on one end and then work your way around. Go from like top, bottom, left, right, and then fill in the gaps. And it helps keep it a little more symmetrical and neat. Okay. And I think I'm going to do another one a little smaller near it. And I'm going to draw that stem, a double line. Now I've got two things in the foreground. I'm going to move a little bit further away, and I'm going to fill this part with some lines. And they're going to be what's called contour lines. So they're going to kind of go over the curve of this hill shape. So I'm going to start on the top line, end on the bottom line. So we've got line here, and now I'm going to add a little bit of visual texture. So I'm imagining this is like a plowed field, and next to it, this part's not plowed, so I'm going to have it like filled with some grass. So I'm just going to make some little marks, like I'm imagining small number ones all over. And this is going to create visual texture. Now don't make these lines too big, because think about it, this is the size of the flowers and they're closer. And so if these are blades of grass or something, you don't want them to be real long. Now you could make them a little longer and maybe it's like a wheat field or something next to it, or just unmowed grass. And this is also something you could do with a colored pencil. So there we've got line, texture, radial symmetry up here. Now let's move on to, we're going to add some shape to this. And I'm going to put a sun. I'm not going to put it in the corner. It doesn't need to be in the corner. If you really want to, you can. Let's do some clouds actually, and then the sun. So I'm going to have some clouds in front of the sun. And these are organic shapes. If you remember, we've practiced organic shapes. There's no wrong way to draw clouds, because they can be any shape. I don't know, it might be a little weird to make them rectangles or something, but there's my cloud in front of the sun. I'm going to make a cloud coming off of the page. I'll do another cloud here. There we go. Got 3 clouds, 3 organic shapes, 1 regular shape, the circle. And now let's add a few more regular shapes. We're going to draw I'm going to draw a house or barn kind of up on this hill. So since it's getting further away, it can be pretty small. So let's start out with like rectangular shape. And put a triangle on top. Another rectangle, like a chimney. And let's see, I'm going to make this with like a porch coming off too. Now you could color that in, or if you used pencil you could erase that line that goes through it, but I'm just going to make it like a silhouette. So I'm going to color it in black. And there's like the railing on the porch. And let's also do, or at least what I'm going to do, is I'm going to put a grain silo here. So those are those big brick cylinders. So I'm going to make a tall rectangle and put a semicircle on top. And I'm going to put this in silhouette as well. So it's colored in. There's my grain silo. Alright, so we've got organic shapes, regular shapes, line, texture, some symmetry. I think we need to add some sort of pattern and repetition. I'm going to make an orchard here of some, maybe like a, let's see, maybe it's a field of blueberry bushes, some sort of small plant right here. And so I'm going to divide, I'm going to go from this line, I'm going to make my way down, and I'm going to make another line right around here. So this is the part of the field here. And I'm going to start to divide it up. So we've got our lines again, but let's do the repetition. We'll make our, whatever thing we're growing here, will just be, make them some circles. Maybe they're little blueberry bushes, or they're apple trees. I don't know, they're really far away, so we'll just make them some shapes. You can see just like that, we've got a pattern and repetition. So we've got lots of our elements of art included. Now there's some we can't do until we start adding some color. And one thing we haven't really done is form, which, remember, form is a 3D shape. And we had the opportunity to do form right here at this silo, which would have been a cylinder, which is a 3D shape, 3D form. But then we colored it in black, so it kind of turns it back into like a 2D shape. If you want to add form anywhere here, you can. I'm going to keep it simple, and we're not even going to touch form on here. But you can feel free to add it. Make this a 3D house if you have practice making, like, rectangular prisms or whatever. You can challenge yourself as much as you want with this. I'm going to add a couple more elements to this. I'm going to put something way back here. I think I'm going to make a big wide river kind of coming through and making its way behind this hill in this valley. So it's just going to go right through there. And we can add some more texture or pattern, rhythm, whatever you want to call this. It's kind of a combination of a lot of things. You add the ripples of the water. And we can do another organic shape here with a kind of a tree shape. And we can push the idea of the depth space a little bit by making, we already have it here because we have things going from big to small as we go towards the horizon line. But I'm going to push the idea of space a little more, and I'm I'm going to make this road kind of come in from around the tree and off the side of the page. And we know that things get smaller as they go backwards towards the horizon. So make it go from small to big right here. This is just like a gravel driveway. Now it's time to add some color, and we can do color and value at the same time. Okay, so got my colored pencils, and now this is an opportunity to add color, of course, which is one of our elements of art, and value, which is another element of art. But you need, for adding value, you can only do that with a pencil or paint or some really nice markers. It's hard to add value with, or you could use crayons too, but it's hard to add value with something like Crayola markers. Just you have to have really nice markers to be able to add different values of the same color. But crayons, colored pencils, watercolors, those are all great for doing value, because remember, value is the light and dark of a color, like how intense the hue is of each color. So I'm going to color the sky